So in here we should have some new special edition Orient watches, which are on loan courtesy of TUS Watches, so thanks to them. You'll find all of these linked in the video description if you want to check them out for yourself. And TUS tends to stock a lot of these special edition watches. These, I believe, are 75th anniversary models. Orient has already released a few of these, but I think these may be the most exciting so far, because at least a couple of these are variants on the Mako Sport, which is one of their most popular watches. Now this here is just sample packaging at the top, and usually you'll get a box like this. But yeah, I'll take a quick look at these today, give you my first impressions, and see if any of these new ones are worth it. Wow, and yeah, Tom's really on the whole hog with these. I'll also whip this one open, see what's in here. Aha. Beautiful. So yeah, it looks like we've got 4 new versions of the popular Mako 40, also known as the Mako Sport, as well as another version of what looks to be a Mako 3 there as well. Now, the one that really stands out from the bunch is definitely this one, and that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's got the retro handwritten Orient logo on, and number two, it's also got a extravagant sunburst flare effect dial. That's probably the best way of putting it. Now, I know a lot of you really enjoyed the recent Bambino releases with the logo written like this. The more traditional coat of arms Orient logo isn't the most well received in the world, but this one is maybe a little bit cleaner. And this one boasts unusual coloured secondhand, actually, like a gold coloured secondhand. Not quite sure how I feel about that one, but the texture is quite good here. Now this one with this flare effect dial doesn't come in that many colours. This may be the only one from memory, in fact, but the overall look is pretty good indeed. Now, for those of you who aren't super familiar with this watch, this is one of Orient's more compact diver models. 20 bar water resistance, reasonably finished steel case, but it is pretty thin, and it also has sapphire crystal on the top there. Now the sapphire on this, at least this colour, looks maybe a little bit more legible than some of the other colours I've looked at before. As you can see, it doesn't have a ton of glare to it, or haziness, should I say. This one also comes on the steel bracelet. Steel bracelet's actually fairly good. It's mostly solid links, has got hollow end links, and also it really could do with a taper. As you can see, the bracelet is pretty big for the size of the watch, but it does have a fairly decent bifold clasp there, with 4 micro adjustment holes, which is great. So you'll probably find a good fit with this one. Get you a close up there of the effect of the dial. It's not quite the same type of thing as a Seiko Presage. It does look a little bit different, this one. Does appear, yeah, I think it is 3D. Just had a close look there off camera. It is like a mild 3D effect there. Not the most dramatic, but it looks fairly decent. And then you've got the handwritten logo on the top. Also has the slightly different text at the bottom. So it really depends what you prefer. I think this one may come out a premium versus the other ones. Yeah, this one does sell for slightly more. This one's currently, without any discount codes or anything, £360. Whereas the others are $350, and then some quite a chunk lower than that, closer towards $330. Overall, pretty good watch this, but I think for my taste, I probably prefer some of the other colours that I've already seen there through the plastic. Bezel's not bad on this model, and it certainly looks good. But yeah, let's take a look at some of these other ones. I'm really intrigued by this reddy orange, and I'm also excited to take a look at some of the straps, because the vast majority of these Orient divers I've tried over the years have been on the metal bracelets. I've never really got hands-on with the straps, so it'll be good to give them a little assessment. Yeah, this red colour, this looks really good. Don't want to fiddle too much with the packaging here, because these will be going back. But yeah, this one was my preferred option, at least from the stock images, and it holds up really well in the flesh. The only real downside on the previous Mako Sport watches, aside from the printed dial errors, you may remember that infamous thing when the watch initially launched, they no longer have that problem, which is great. And yeah, the dials on those were just a little bit pale, a little bit pasty, whereas these new ones are much punchier and much more vibrant. As you can see, you get a much higher contrast look that I just think looks better. And I also just really like the handset on these watches. It's something quite different from a lot of other dive watches in this price range. It's kind of half skeletonized, but still gives you plenty of legibility. And yeah, the red there, I think that looks really good. I think the green they've got here also looks good, especially considering it's slightly less expensive Definitely would take this over that last one, even if it doesn't have fancy texture to it. For the most part, the rest of the watch looks the same. In the back of these, I think, is it F6922 in the back? Yeah, I've just checked here, F6722. And then for all the exact measurements, if you are new to this watch, width is actually a hair under 40 mil. It's like 39.9. Overall, this watch does wear quite small, only a 46.6 lug to lug. And thickness, 12.8, which isn't too bad for an automatic dive watch with a bezel like this. Let's take a look at the other one though, the green. I'll show you this one on wrist because this one should fit me straight out of the gate. Wow, the dial on this one is actually a little bit different to that red one. It has a sunburst shine finish to it, whereas that last one was a bit more of a matte red. Yeah, it definitely has a matte finish, that one on the left. Whereas this one has a bit more pizzazz to it. Might prefer that actually. And the strap looks really good. Never really tried an Orient strap before, but colour me impressed. This model is £20 less, I think, than the other one. It has a admittedly quite bulky strap when it's there sitting by itself. That is pretty huge, but it seemed to integrate well with the strap. And really like the shape of this. This doesn't look generic or off the shelf at all, really. This looks like a proper custom job with the almost racing stripes down the middle. Slightly textured rear, just helps on wrist stickiness. Yeah, definitely like that strap. We'll see if it fits me. I've only got a small wrist. There's a slightly closer look. Still has not the clearest sapphire crystal there. Is often a thing with lower cost watches. The sapphire crystals do tend to be hazier on average, but I would say, at least from what I can tell here, these last two just seem slightly hazier than this special edition one. Could be purely because of the colour of the dial though, maybe because the other one is just brighter. It just looks less hazy even if they're the same. But yeah, definitely think that this one again is better looking. And the watch really suits being on a strap actually. Just gives it what looks like more shoulders. And how does this clasp work here exactly? Well, you know what, I'll whip it on and we'll try it out. And there's a quick look at it on my 6¼ inch wrist. Then this watch actually looks really good. And the strap is very comfortable. Very good job on the strap in general. And the keeper there, it is a bit bulky, but it kind of slots in. So you'll see here, there's a small ridge line here, and then this just can butt up against it and sit flush against it. So it holds it quite tightly in place. And this watch wears really quite compactly overall. Also, unlike the previous watches, which came with pass-through straps that went underneath the watch, because this is on a two-piece band instead, does wear quite a bit thinner, and definitely prefer the fit of this watch. The strap that came with the Mako Sport when it initially launched, well, it was trash. This one is significantly better. It's like a rubber material there, or a silicone or something. Would definitely take this over them, no doubt, and it kind of suits the sporty styling. And we've got a couple of other really quite different models. First though, we got what looks like a PVD version of Mako Sport. As you know, if you've watched my channels for any length of time, PVD watches have never really been my thing. You know, the whole carry culture and the gunmetal vibes, not as popular here in the UK as they are in some other countries where firearms are legal. I mean, this one definitely has some tactical vibes. You can see we've got a grey, almost has a hint of champagne-ness to the dial there. And it's quite a deep grey as well. It's certainly not a black finish. It really is a deep gunmetal though. And again, it actually looks pretty good, gotta say. Not the most imaginative variation, but it's good to see Orient experimenting with the case materials, which they don't do very often. And it does look cool, really does. Almost has like a Seiko vibe about it for some reason, this one. Orient, of course, are effectively a sister company to Seiko. The final watch we have here is something quite different. It's not the one I initially thought. I thought from looking at this was a Mako 3, which I already reviewed on Ben's Watch Club. But no, this is a new solar-powered version. So I already unboxed this watch when it launched, or at least the original version of this. And that one actually looked better in the flesh than it did online. Online, it looked quite tragic. But in person, at least a couple of the colours worked quite well. And this one again, it's okay. The dial actually looks pretty decent for the most part. You'll notice with this version compared to the standard Mako 3, the indices and that all look much higher quality. I think on the Mako 3 they maybe just like punch through from the rear for some reason, whereas these are all properly applied, because it's a solar dial. Kind of cast a bit of a shadow beneath them, and in this case it doesn't seem to hurt legibility at all. It just makes it look even more texture rich, almost Tiffany blue sunburst going on there. This colour combination is okay, definitely not my favourite. This particular colour bezel can work in certain scenarios, almost has a bit of those old money vibes about it, but it is also not the easiest to pair, as we found out with some of those other Mako Solars. Again, here, definitely isn't the best match, I don't think. Now, if you haven't seen this watch before, it does come with some clear benefits over some of the other Orient divers. It is very thin, as you can see here. I'll get you the measurements in a moment, but yeah, still has the same 20 bar water resistance rating and a screw back. And all these watches, by the way, have screw down crowns as well, if that's of interest to you. Bezel on this, also a little bit better actually than the Mako Sport, despite being a cheaper watch. Even this limited edition version only comes in at 232 at the time of recording. That's British pounds. So for a watch of this level of quality, I don't think that's bad at all, and they're a pretty well-known brand, Orient. Case finishing is okay. It's never been a big strength of Orient, but they are built pretty well and solidly. Again, has a good bracelet that's equivalent to the last few. And the size on this one, if you're interested, this is maybe a hair bigger than the last one, exactly 40mm in width. And then you've got a lug-to-lug there. It's quite a flat lug profile on this one, 46.1, so it is actually a tiny bit smaller. Unusual, actually. I think maybe because the bezel's hair skinnier, perhaps. It looks wider than the other watch, even though it's technically smaller. It'll definitely be thinner, 11.1. That's not bad for a diver. And there's just a quick look at it on my 6¼ inch wrist. You can see what I mean here. It visually looks larger than the other one, but definitely wears quite a bit thinner, as you can see. Always get that with these solar-powered watches. And on this particular model, alignment is fairly good. It's not perfect on that second hand, but it's very close to each marker at least. I think the stars of the show are actually the more simplistic models. These two with the more brightly coloured dials, definitely my favourites. And yeah, I would, if you're interested in these, definitely consider grabbing them on the straps. The straps are pretty good. I'll link all these below if you're interested. Let me know what you think of this new release in the comment section below.